everybody, this is Cindy, Palm Springs Cindy, and I'm here today to do a Christmas tag with AB FAB. Now, I want to talk a little bit about AB FAB before I go into the 10 Christmas questions that we have as a tag. So I'm going to answer them, and then I'm hoping that you go over to AB FAB's YouTube channel and answer the questions, see how she answered them. But before I begin, AB FAB's name is Denise, and Denise is a radiation technologist. And she started her YouTube channel about a year and a half ago. And when I asked her why she started her channel, she said that she really wanted a place for like-minded young women like herself, real people, to be able to come and share and learn from one another. And her goal is to get 500 subs, and so that they can share their passion together. And so I'm hoping that when you guys go over to her channel, you'll be able to sub her channel as well and help her out with that goal. She married her best friend 22 years ago, and they do not have any children. She's interested in makeup, skincare, and a holistic approach to life. She loves the theater arts. She loves ballet, she loves music, and about 3 years ago, she started taking piano lessons. So I have 10 questions that I'm going to answer, and she's going to answer. And the first one is, when do I get excited for Christmas? I get excited around Thanksgiving time. The whole season is changing into fall, and as I'm getting out my Thanksgiving decorations for around the house, the Christmas ones are right next to them. So I realized that around Thanksgiving, it's the season for the holidays: Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve. And so question number 2, did I ever receive or use an Advent calendar? And I have not, and partly because that when I was growing up, I went to Catholic schools. And when I was in Catholic school, we Advented all over the place. So I didn't have an Advent calendar to bring home. What's my favorite Christmas film? And I had trouble with that, so I have several Christmas movies written down in no particular order. Home Alone, Miracle on 34th Street, Polar Bear Express, It's a Wonderful Life, The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, The Shop Around the Corner, A Charlie Brown Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, Holiday Affair. And some of my favorite Christmas songs are I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Merry Christmas, Darling by Karen Carpenter. Remember her and her beautiful voice. It's a Holly Jolly Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Last Christmas, and I love it when I think it's Wham or George Michael sings it, The Christmas Song by Nat King Cole, and Mary Did You Know is one of my very, very favorite songs. And okay, let's see. A funny Christmas memory. I have kind of a funny memory that when I was a little girl, my father would always go out and buy our Christmas tree. And he always seemed to buy a tree that was about 1.5 feet at least too tall to fit into the house. So there was always this moment of angst between my mom and dad as my dad was sawing down the tree, and they were measuring it, and they were trying to get it in that tree stand, because in those days I don't think there were fake Christmas trees. I don't remember. So that was, I look back, and that's kind of funny, because now that I'm the in charge of Christmas as far as decorating and everything, I always pick out a tree that's too big as well. So that tradition has spilled over onto me until I decided later, well, that question's coming up. Let's see. typical, my Christmas morning. Well, I'm an empty nester now, so it's me, my husband, and my daughter, and she comes over in Christmas morning, and I usually make a strata Christmas Eve, not Christmas Eve that evening, and I put it in the fridge, and then for Christmas morning, I pop that strata in the oven, and we have, I go on and sleep in, and so after my daughter comes over, I've got the strata pretty much finished baking in the oven. We make a fresh fruit salad. We buy like some really great cinnamon rolls. And then I have a great drink that I enjoy making that's frozen apple juice and frozen strawberries. And then I whip it in the blender, and it's really good. And our Christmases here in Palm Springs are about 85 degrees usually. So the cold drink does taste good. Speaking of a drink. So that is then after we enjoy our breakfast, we might open a bottle of champagne, and then we open our gifts. We're not real huge gift givers. We're more into the family, the food, the church events. Let's see. Any Christmas traditions? Well, we used to go, we haven't done it the last few years, but we would go to candlelight service at that Christmas Eve, my daughter and I. And I have to tell you guys, one Christmas Eve, we decided to go to midnight mass. And so we went to midnight mass at one of the local Catholic churches here. And in front of us, a pew was Loretta Young, her son, and her daughter. And so she had her hair pulled straight back in this low bun. She kept her coat on. She was elegant and beautiful. And during the part of the mass where they shake hands, peace be with you, peace be with you, I was totally checking her out, and her daughter and her son. And she did pass away shortly after that. So that was kind of a special memory for a midnight mass service. She did live here in Palm Springs. What's your best Christmas present? One of your best Christmas presents? Well, when my daughter was born, she was born December 19th. So after I had given birth to her, I had some problems. So I had to have a little surgery, and that meant I needed to stay in the hospital. And she stayed in the hospital with me. And they released me the evening of the 24th. So I was still pretty surgeryized. So I was moving slowly. And as I was like putting my gown, packing, and getting my toothbrush, I had dressed my daughter, my brand new baby, in this little white onesie, like a nice soft terry cloth little onesie that snapped up the front and snapped in between her little legs, or had the drawstring or whatever. It was white. So as I was leaving, the nurses had taken her and put her in a red Christmas stocking. So they handed me to her, and she had a little white onesie on. They'd put her in a red Christmas stocking, and that's how I took her home. So she was my very best Christmas present ever. Let's see. Do I have a real or fake tree? Well, as I said, I ended up being the one that was picking out Christmas trees for our home and always getting one that was too big. So I stopped fighting that battle, and eventually as the artificial trees got nicer, I ended up buying an artificial tree. And so before I leave or say goodbye, because my 10 answers are over, I'm going to show you my beautiful Christmas tree. And but before I do, I want to say Merry Christmas to all my viewers. Merry Christmas to the whole Mature YouTube community. Have a safe, healthy, fun-filled holiday. And I will look forward to seeing you later. And don't forget to go over to AB FAB and check out her tag answering these same questions, and then I'm going to put the names of the 2 people I'm going to tag at the end of this video. And in the meantime, let me share my Christmas tree.